Hello, in this, I will talk about Spirika, who you can get for free after finishing an Ode to Origin Chapter 4. The episode itself requires you to finish Chapter 95 of main story to access. You will also get her Stellar Awakening immediately after finishing the chapter for free. First off, we start with her mechanics. Her unique Starglow attacking skills lets her change her skills to match enemy elemental weakness on the fly. So her skills can change element mid-attack even if there are multiple enemies with different elemental weaknesses. Just note that Starglow is not like Kaleido, it will not change element of the links you give to her. If enemies have multiple elemental weakness, she will try to follow the majority element personality in frontline. Note that her skills always appear as null, but actually has elements so almighty Grastas and elemental buffs can be used. She can get element Kaleido from others like Nekoko, but skills will still appear null even if they have the Kaleido element. Next up, we talk about her DPS state, which she can enter by reaching 99 stacks. She drains light burst meter with skills to gain stacks. She cannot gain any stacks if there's not enough light burst meter even if you use the right skills. She can gain 35 stacks in AF, 15 or 20 stacks outside AF, and a max of 15 stacks on burst turns. She also starts battle with 40 stacks if she starts in frontline with Stellar Awakening. She can get to state earliest by turn 4 start and the state lasts 2 turns. Once in DPS state, all her skills do double damage. When she is in state, she fills the burst meter with light fully every start of turn, which means you can do consecutive turn bursts even without doing any AF. She can't gain back stacks in state unfortunately, or it will be too broken. You will need a minimum of 4 turns to get back her state after it wears off. Next, we go over her skills. Starlit Gry Melody. Self-buff skill requires 8% light meter to use fully. Huge buffs and gains 15 stacks once per turn stacking. Use this skill for stacks on burst turns without AF. Meteora, her main spammable DPS skill, changes element to match enemy weakness. Will always hit weakness if enemy has any elemental weakness. Has huge type resistance shred and also magic break. A good support skill even if not used for DPS. Stellar skill, self-buff before using Meteora requires 12% light meter to use fully. Use mainly for 20 stacks only once per turn. Removes debuffs in burst and does a huge one-hit attack, is one of the highest one-hit attacks in the game in DPS mode. Use Meteora instead of this skill in burst unless you need to remove debuffs, because one hit is low DPS even with high percent. This is her DPS set when you use her as one. Otherwise, go for some speed equips instead. Getting her full personal weapon requires a long series of boss fights which requires at least 3 good teams. Her weapon itself isn't much better than the standard options, so she functions fine without it regardless. My opinions on Spirika, elemental weakness DPS with consecutive burst mechanic. She is the first weakness-specific DPS for free, but she doesn't self-Kaleido like the gacha DPS. As a DPS, she has a lot of self-buffs and a whole lot of resistance shred. Being able to always hit weakness with multi-hits makes her one of the best DPS for HP sponge bosses, who mostly do have elemental weaknesses. She is also the first unit to allow party to fill burst meter without requiring AF, which is a game changer even for gacha teams. It is, however, balanced by needing many turns to start up and pretty much prefers light teams to perform, and you also have to plan well on the stacks to activate her state at the right times. As for her flaws, she isn't good for enemies with no elemental weakness, and you have to be careful with team building if enemies have multiple elemental weakness, as she tries to follow majority element personality, but she may not use the correct element if your team has balanced elements. She also actually drains burst meter for her stacks, which will affect your burst timings. Overall, a top-tier DPS unit with good support, is however tricky to use to full potential with her stacking. Is she worth farming light for? Yes, one of the best free units right now.